All right, good morning, everyone. This Government Employees Retirement System of the Virgin Islands. Meeting of the Board of Trustees for Thursday, April 23rd, 2026 is hereby called to order. Have a roll call, please.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman and everyone. Tammin Clark,
Yes.
Trustee Clark present. Andre Dorsey. Andre T. Dorsey.
Yes, present.
Dorsey present. Vincent G. Liger. Trustee Liger absent. Ex officio member Cindy Richardson. Ex officio member Richardson absent. Leona E. Smith.
Present.
Trustee Smith present. Renee Colwood.
Present.
Trustee Colwood present. Mr. Chairman, 4 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Are there any comments and suggestions from retirees? Are there any comments and suggestions from active members? Next item on the agenda, the Secretary's minutes from the March 26, 2026 board meeting. Are there any edits or corrections to be made to those minutes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the Secretary's minutes from the March 26, 2026 meeting?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Smith, seconded by Trustee Dorsey. Have a roll call, please.
Yes, Trustee Clark.
Yes.
Trustee Clark, yes. Trustee Dorsey.
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey, yes. Trustee Liger absent. Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Smith, yes. Trustee Colwood.
Yes.
Trustee Colwood, yes. Mr. Chairman, 4 yea, 1 absent.
Thank you. Are there any communications and correspondences to be read into the record?
No, sir.
None. The chairman's report, there is none. The administrator's report.
Yes, sir. Good morning, all again. With regards to meetings, presentations, and appearances, March 23rd, I had a meeting with a senator regarding possible legislation, which I will not disclose in an open session. March 24th, structured walkthrough number 6 with Majesco Vitek. March 25th, design session number 10, pension estimates with Majesco Vitek. March 26th, GERS Board of Trustees meeting. March 27th, attended portrait unveiling of former Governor John DeYoung. March 31st, of course, we had our transfer day holidays, and then the 2nd through the 6th, Easter holidays. April 8th, design session number 11 with Majesco Vitek, various applications. April 8th, business process improvement status meeting with Linnea. April 9th, planning session, tranche number 2, limited active loan program. April 13th through the 17th, I was on personal leave. April 20th, investment committee meeting. And then it's not on here, it was subsequent to preparation here. April 21st, appearance before the legislature's budget appropriation and finance committee, which, as you're probably aware, has received extensive press coverage regarding 2 bills with regards to the GERS. Continuing on with the report, our typical report shows retirement applications as of March 15, 2026. For 2025, we have 298 applications, of which 249 have been processed, with 49 remaining. So we're at an 84% completion rate. 2026, we have 54, 2 have been completed, with 52 remaining. Contributions processing, they have processed a total of refunds totaling $732,513. spread over 95 cases. They've processed 64 death benefit cases totaling $49,042.97. From the accounting department, annuity payments, number of retirees as of April 15th, excuse me, 2026. The payroll is 8,796 individuals, and cumulative through April 15th, 2026 for the fiscal year, we've paid out some $148 million in retirement annuities. Number of retirees added to the payroll in the current fiscal year, 181. Number of retirees added to the payroll subsequent to April 15th, it's 29. Number of retirees expected to be placed on a payroll for the April 30th pay date is 11. And the number of retirees deleted for the fiscal year thus far is 149. As of April 15th, 2026, the semi-monthly payroll totals approximately $11.5 million. Disbursement by location, that doesn't change much from month to month. We presently have 9,591 disbursements, of which 7,989 are in the territory and 1,756 are outside of the territory. Personal loans, of course, subsequent to the last board meeting in March, we've announced the approval of another tranche of $20 million. We've publicized that, and we'll begin to accept requests for appointments. The portal will be open on May 4th, and appointments will be available for the months of June and July. In terms of the current portfolio for personal loans, we have 2,429 units, and mortgages we have 40 for a combined portfolio of 2,485 units, totaling some $17,376,293.91. Operations continues apace. We have a listing of our current leases, and then we have some pending or upcoming lease negotiations, not the least of which is the Department of Justice, and I will highlight the Department of Justice in our collections report on the next page. Nothing really outside of that to discuss with regards to leases. We conducted our typical environmental testing of our facilities, and the results were shared with staff, indicating that we have no mold issues. Now to, sorry. Sorry.
Will be shared.
Oh, no. Minor. I alluded to our collections report for rent. I'd first like to start with the good news, and that is the Division of Personnel is completely current. There's a very small amount outstanding from the police department, but I must report to this board that the Department of Justice is a growing problem. We have an arrearage representing January, February, and March for the Department of Justice, totaling $111,189, and an electrical arrearage for January and February of $51,736.40. That's in excess of $160,000, almost $170,000. This is unacceptable and unsustainable. We have been very courteous and cooperative with with our tenant, the Department of Justice, and we certainly don't want to be involved in a legal imbroglio with the government's legal arm. However, they're also a tenant, and we will not be accepting discontinued late payments, this arrearage from the Department of Justice, and we will attempt one more time to work cooperatively with the Department of Justice, but failing that, we will become more aggressive in our collection efforts. So, via this means and others, the Department of Justice is placed on notice. That concludes the administrator's report.
Thank you. Any questions for the administrator concerning, with respect to the administrator's report?
Mr. Chair, I have one question for the administrator. I know the hurricane season is gonna be upon us. How is the generators?
Good morning, and thank you for the question, Trustee Smith. I will commend our operations team and facilities team to do a superb job. We have maintenance contracts in both districts for our generators, and they're always fully fueled and ready to go. As has been proven over the last month with the outages that we experienced throughout the territory, but particularly in the St. Thomas and John district. I think even more exciting is that we invested a tremendous amount of money in installing a new massive generator at the Havenside property. And before that happened, the legacy generator inherited when we retook control of the management of the property from Wyco was in horrible shape. Our tenants were not very pleased. Many of them wanted to install their own personal generators for their stores and restaurants, and we discouraged that. But of course, that meant that we owed them reliable power. And the unit that we have on hand presently came through superbly. As a matter of fact, when the power went out in town, Havenside was a beacon for folks that didn't have power at home and could come and patronize the restaurants or even shop. So thank you for the question, Trustee Smith, but we're fully covered there.
So,
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for the administrator.
Proceed.
Maybe this might be better covered in executive session, but also wanted to ask about the whole Department of Justice situation. I don't have the specifics on the particular lease, but are there fees and penalties that are accrued for late payments currently? Is it something that we would look at incorporating in the future version of the contract? And
It's currently in the existing contract.
okay, and then the second point is, given the track record as the organization in terms of late payments, et cetera, I think that should factor into the whole renewal process as well. That's a personal opinion, but we can talk about that.
And the choir says amen and absolutely. That is going to be the feature of our discussions with that tenant. And of course, they're part of the central government, so they don't cut their own checks. This may be a systemic issue with the Department of Finance or the Office of Management and Budget or the Department of Justice itself, or all three. Frankly, it is our problem in the sense that we need to get our money, but it's for them to resolve. And I do intend to highlight this matter at our next annual overview before the legislature's Finance Committee, because ultimately it's the legislature's responsibility to provide proper funding for the central government and to know the truth with regards to what is happening. I know they've been active with helping WAPA with a single payer utility fund, and maybe it's time for a single payer rental fund for the central government. We don't know, but we will attempt to assist as best as possible. But at the end of the day, that does not absolve them of their responsibilities.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Please note the presence of Trustee Liger.
Okay, we will record the presence of Did you say Attorney Liger? Trustee Liger. Trustee Vincent Liger.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
Any more
I have a
questions for the
question.
administrator?
I have a question, a couple of questions, Chair. Mr. CEO, just a quick one here. As relates to that issue with the late payment, I just want to thank your staff in terms of finally getting the Division of Personnel on board, being current. So you definitely did a really good job in following up on that. I don't see any difference in you doing what you do as it relates to justice. It's just a matter of time to do what you have to do internally. The other thing I wanted to say, CEO, I did listen in to, I don't want to say it's most of that Senate session, but the part I did hear when you were on the Senate floor this past week, hello?
Yeah, you were like you're
Hello?
going in and out. I don't know if you're going further away from the device. You're back now. You're fade out for a second.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm actually recovering. Sorry about that if my voice is low, recovering from being out sick. Yes, CEO, I thought your presentation, how you presented, how you defended the system, I just thought it was just really, really excellent. I'm so proud being part of the system, listening to you defend it, and even asking for the additional funding that would be needed. And I was saying to myself, just imagine where we would be if we didn't fund the note with the low revenue, even though we're at the highest we can get on the cover, where we as a system territory, we'd probably be having a different this
You are
morning.
not, you're very garbled,
What you did
sorry.
in next,
We can't hear
and
you.
as I said to you
Darcy.
lately, that need to be done. Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now, but you're very garbled. You're coming in and out.
Yeah, I can't. Can you hear me now?
Dorsey,
Hello?
the issue isn't volume. It's like your bandwidth is struggling. So you're actually like
Oh,
breaking up. Not that the volume is the issue.
okay. Okay. I'm not sure if you can hear me now with the volume or with the bandwidth, if I'm still in and out. I just wanted to say that the session that the CEO was just in, I thought it was the presentation, how he presented, how he represented us as a system. I think we all should be very, very, very proud. I just thought it was really, really off the chain. And I did call him and tell him, but I just wanted to say that again for the record, so our constituents who probably didn't tune in can go back and tune in and just have an understanding of where we are as a system, and that we still have insolvency issues that we have to deal with in a short order. So I just wanted to say that for the record. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I'd like to thank Trustee Clark for his kind words. I'm truly honored by the
Trustee
compliment. Trustee Dorsey, sorry, for the compliment from Trustee Dorsey. I truly appreciate it. The men and women of the GERS all work hard, and I'm duty bound to represent them and this board to the best of my ability. So thank you for the recognition. Truly appreciated. My head already big enough.
All right. Committee reports. The investment committee met on Tuesday. Was it the 21st? 20. Not today, it's
The 20th.
The 20th.
Tuesday. Oh, Lord.
The 21st. All right.
Apparently we can't come to 4 today.
The investment committee met on Tuesday, the 21st. We got an investment. We got an update from our investment managers regarding the portfolio. I don't believe there were any other subcommittees. Treasurer's report. Mr. Henderson. I mean, Ms. Jeremiah, I'm sorry.
What's with us the name?
Yeah. I shouldn't have had a coffee.
Good morning, Board Chair, other trustees. This is the Government Employees Retirement System Schedule of Receipts and Disbursement for the month ending March 31st, 2026. Receipts from collections, loan repayments, 545,000, year to date, 3.5 million. Rent from tenants, 16,000, year to date, 558,000. Employer retirement contributions, 7.6 million. Year to date, 44.7 million. Employee retirement contributions, 4.3 million. Year to date, 24.3 million. Miscellaneous, we have 69,000. Year to date, 1.8 million. Total collections for the month of March, 12.5 million. Year to date, 134.9 million. Disbursements, we have annuity payments, 23.2 million. Year to date, 140.8 million. Administrative reports, expenses, 1.4 million. Year to date, 10.8. Personal loans, these are the refunds. We have 6,000. Year to date, 22,000. Mortgages, these are escrow payments for most part, 15,000. Year to date, 48,000. Refund of contributions, 776,000. Year to date, 5.7 million. For a total disbursement for the month of March of 25.4 million. Year to date, 157.2 million. For the month of March, we had a net deficit of 12.9 million. Year to date, 22.3 million. We have withdrawn from the investment portfolio thus far 100 million, and our admin expenses are 39% of the budget. For the Havenside Mall, we have total collections of 686,000 for the month of March. Year to date, 3.7 million. And our disbursements, 684,000. Year to date, 2.9 million. For a net cash surplus in March of 1,800, and for the year to date, 808,000. Board Chair, that ends the reading of the treasurer's.
Thank you. I have one quick question. The administrative expenses, you said were 39% of budget. That's so far for the fiscal year?
So far for the fiscal year, as of March.
All right, good job.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the CFO regarding the treasurer's report? Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Clark, seconded by trustee Smith. Have a roll call, please.
Yes, trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Clark, yes, trustee Dorsey,
Yes.
trustee Dorsey, yes, trustee Liger,
Yes.
trustee Liger, yes, trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Smith, yes, trustee Colwood,
Yes.
trustee Colwood, yes, Mr. Chairman, 6
Thank you. Next up, we have the investment officer's report.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, other trustees. This is an update of the investment portfolio as of March 31st, 2026. Global equities saw a decline in the month, primarily impacted by geopolitical tensions with the ongoing or the escalation of the Iran, US, and Israel war. Some of the key themes that mattered for markets during the month were, of course, the Iran conflict dominated the narrative, as the Middle East conflict and effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz drove pretty much a risk-off shift, with March trading marked by headline-driven swings. We also saw oil, bond yields, and US dollar higher. Practically everything else was lower. So March left investors with pretty much few places to hide. We also saw a surge, as per the surge in crude prices, sparked concerns about renewed inflation pressures and knock-down effects to the broader economic activity in the markets. As it relates to the performance of the plan, total plan returned or was down 3.9% month to date. But the total plan was up about 1% fiscal year to date. Total domestic equities was down 5% month to date, and also down about roughly 1.4% fiscal year to date. The Russell 1000 index declined about 5% month to date, and was also down about 1.9% fiscal year to date. Our Russell 2000 index declined 5% month to date, but is up 3.2% fiscal year to date, and is pretty much one of our better performing asset classes in the portfolio. Equities pretty much broadly declined in the month, with the major indexes, S&P 500, Russell 3000, and also the Russell 1000 all falling about 5%. The energy sector was the lone standout sector of the month, which gained about 10.3%, while all other sectors were broadly negative, led by consumer staples, which was down about 9.8%. Basic materials was down about 7.1%, and healthcare was down about 7.3%. Total international equity was down about 10.2% month to date, but is positive so far fiscal year to date, up 4.5%. It did underperform its domestic counterpart for the month, but has been the best performing asset class fiscal year to date in the portfolio. Developed market equity, as represented by our MSCI EFA Index Fund, was down 10.2% month to date, but is up 3.7% fiscal year to date. Our emerging market fund was down 10.5% month to date, but is up 7.6% fiscal year to date. Developed market performance saw Eurozone equities experiencing a significant downturn in March, reflecting market reactions to the economic impact of elevated energy prices and a higher interest rate backdrop. UK stocks also declined due to elevated bond yields and slowing economic growth. On the emerging market slide, slightly underperformed developed market one for the month, mainly due to weaknesses related to reliance on energy imports, currency declines, and increasing inflation throughout the developing world. China was a standout underperformer for the month, falling about 7.7%, representing, as I said, the biggest decliner of the month, as internet and software stocks weakened amid ongoing growth and policy uncertainty. Our total fixed income portfolio returned was down 1.5% month to date, but is up 0.8% fiscal year to date. As government bonds experienced a sell-off in March as concern around oil-driven inflation pressures forced a reassessment of global monetary policy. Among corporates, high-yield bond spreads widened more than investment grades in both the US and overseas markets. As it pertains to our investment grade portfolio, that return was down 1.9% month to date, but is up 1% fiscal year to date. Our US TIPS portfolio was down 1.4% month to date, but is up 0.3% fiscal year to date. And our high yield bonds returned was down 1.2% month to date, but is up 0.8% fiscal year to date as of March 31st, 2026. Also, I'd like to report that currently month to date, as of yesterday's market close in April, the portfolio is up about 5% month to date. So we've pretty much gained back most of that decline from March. As it relates to the record of asset growth or the cash flow for the month, so we ended the month at approximately $480.2 million. We began with a market value of about $500.5 million. We had no net cash outflow for the month of March. We had about 7,931 in income. We had an unrealized depreciation in the portfolio of about $20 million. That brought us to that ending market value of $480.2 million as of March 31st, 2026. For the month, we did have to raise about $19.5 million out of the portfolio in anticipation of cash needs for benefits. Of course, we tried to use that opportunity to rebalance the portfolio. At the time of rebalancing, our fixed income portfolios was slightly overweighted, so we pulled most of the cash from there. So we took $8 million from our U.S. aggregated bond index. We took $5 million from our U.S. high yield bond index. We took $3.5 million from our U.S. TIPS index, and we took $3 million from our emerging market index. As it pertains to fees for the month, we didn't pay any fees for the calendar month to date. Fiscal year to date, we've paid about $216,000 in investment-related fees. And just a highlight of the asset allocation of the market values for the month, we had domestic equities at about $150 million. We had a developed market equity at about $64.1 million. We had emerging market equity at about $17 million. Investment grade bonds at about $84 million. US TIPS at about $43.7 million. High yield bonds at about $41.4 million. Our real estate assets, this excludes our system assets at about $54.7 million. Our two legacy private equity funds at about $5 million, and cash on hand at the end of the month, as mentioned, at about $20 million. Mr. Chair, Trustee, that ends my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Henderson, quick question. It seems like some of the distribution, the withdrawals came from very bond-friendly accounts across the board. And so trying to understand, did that affect our portfolio allocation in any way? And are there lower fees with bond accounts? Why were most of the withdrawals coming from the bond side of things?
Yeah, so typically, Trustee Clark, at a given moment when we raise in cash from the portfolio, we take a look at the overall portfolio and see where we're overweight or underweight versus the policy. And we were overweight in the portfolio as of that given time. We were overweight investment grade bonds, high yield bonds, and TIPS. I think investment grade bonds we were overweight by about 11%. Also by TIPS, about 11%. I think high yield bonds we were overweight, we were overweight. Sorry, my apologies. We were overweight about 1%. We were overweight about 1% in TIPS, and I think we were similarly overweight as well. High yield bonds versus the policy benchmark. So we typically tend to rebalance back to those targets as we do cash withdrawals, and that is why we basically withdrew from those portfolios.
Absolutely, understand. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Chair, Mr. Henderson, question?
Sure.
Yeah, when you're doing those withdrawals, I thought you and Mrs. Jeremiah have that discussion. You guys don't discuss that as to which funds you're going to pull that money from, or is there another way you guys do that?
So typically how that would work, Trustee Dorsey, Ms. Jeremiah would communicate a need for a draw or a need for cash to cover the shortfall or the projected shortfall for benefit payments. And in turn, I would communicate with Mikita, our investment consultant, and we would work together to determine which asset class or which bucket would be the most reasonable place to pull those funds at a given time.
Okay, and then you present that to the CEO?
The CEO, and in the consultants respond back to me, the CEO would be copied on it as well. Copied on it, yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was concurring with Mr. Henderson that I am similarly included in the communication.
Oh, okay. And CEO, just a quick question. That bill that related to the possible monies that would be coming in when you were testifying, Senator Lewis's bill, would that affect the asset value?
Let's get through the investment officer's report. Let's keep the questions limited to that. Once we approve it, then we could expound.
Future?
Are there any questions pertaining to the investment officer's report? Can I have a motion to accept the investment officer's report?
So moved.
Second.
Hello?
Moved by trustee Clark, seconded by trustee Liger. Have a roll call, please.
Yes, trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Clark, yes, trustee Dorsey,
Hello?
trustee Dorsey, we're
Hello?
taking a vote on the investment officer's report.
Oh, I didn't hear my question answered. Did someone respond to my question? Or did you just move on? I didn't hear it. I blanked out. Can somebody give me clarification?
My response was that I was trying to keep the questions limited to the investment officer's report. And once we get that accepted, then we could expound.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
voting on, so right now we're just voting on
Yes.
accepting the investment officer's report.
Trustee Dorsey, yes, trustee Liger.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Trustee Liger, yes, trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Smith, yes, trustee Colwood,
Yes.
trustee Colwood, yes, Mr. Chairman, 6-8.
All right, now trustee Dorsey, proceed with the question to the CEO.
Yes, CEO, I was asking when you were testifying, there was a bill from Senator Avery Lewis that was supposed to bring some kind of future funding to the system with some type of hotel development or hotel transactions, some kind of proceeds would come out of that. I was wondering how that might possibly affect the overall asset value of the system. Was there, I don't know if there's any research done on what that would possibly look like as another funding source to the system.
Thank you, trustee Dorsey. So it's technical, but there was a bond financing that concluded sometime late last year in which the Public Finance Authority was essentially utilized as a conduit borrower to facilitate the transfer of ownership of the Frenchman's Reef, the Western Frenchman's Reef buoy house under a nonprofit corporate structure. And there's also a subsidiary created within the PFA. So as I indicated, it gets to be a bit complex. We were not a part of that. Senator Lewis's bill, as drafted, would have diverted any funds from the sale of the property, any property finance using this mechanism, except that presently there's only one. That if the property were to be sold prior to the repayment of the bonds, that the net proceeds, instead of going to the government of the Virgin Islands, would come to the GERS. Of course, we were not a part of the transaction. We do not know what the value of the hotel is presently. We certainly do not know what the value of the hotel would be in possibly 10, 20, or 30 years. But whatever it is, as I indicated in my presentation, we will not look a gift horse in the mouth. We will take it. But we couldn't tell you, and we certainly couldn't model actuarially what the value is because we don't know, but we can all surmise that it's potentially quite a valuable asset, and the net proceeds would be most welcome by the system. It would be more money than we anticipated we would have just a month ago. The issue that I identified in the legislative hearing was that, as written, we would only benefit if there were a sale of the property prior to the maturity of the bonds. However, if the bonds were to go for their full life, then the property, as the bill is written, would revert to the enabling legislation for the transaction to begin with. The property would transfer unencumbered to the government of the Virgin Islands. So that would be of no benefit to us. So my suggested amendment was that they amend it so that either under a sale before maturity of the bonds or upon transfer at the full repayment of the bonds, that we would benefit under that scenario as well. And that was well received by Senator Lewis. They're working on the amendment process, and that would be one of the key amendments that would be presented by the time the bill arrives in the Rules Committee.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, so Trustee Dorsey, you wanted to discuss about.
Before you do, I would like to note the presence of Ms. Florine Hassel on behalf of the ex officio member, Cindy Richardson. Good morning, Ms. Hassel. What's with the phones today? It's on their end. We can hear you sort of, Ms. Hassel. We were just recognizing your presence.
I hope
Thank
you
you.
can hear me.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Just
Yes,
saying
loud and clear.
morning to okay, good morning to everyone, and thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Thank you. I would also, I don't get personal privilege, but I'll take the opportunity. I'd like to recognize that yesterday was Administrative Professionals Week. So I would like to recognize all the administrative professionals within the government employees retirement system. And we have two right behind here, Ms. Zaida Castro within the legal department, and of course, Ms. Sandy Bryan Bell. Thank you very much for all that you do, administrative professionals. You keep our lives on track. And we have Ms. Nikaya Coley, who I think would qualify as an administrative professional. Thank you, Ms. Coley, on behalf of, well.
Yeah. We really, a lot of people don't know, we really don't work in school.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. Thank you, Chair.
A lot more than I realized after I became chair. Like, what?
And finally, I would like to recognize Mr. Terrence Thomas, our Chief Information Technology Officer, and Mr. LaShawn Moses, because we're all beneficiaries of a wonderful new audiovisual system in the boardroom here in St. Thomas, as well as the boardroom on St. Croix. Can we pull up Miss Nico? We were seeing her so nicely before.
She stepped up front. Yes.
She did, okay. But anyway, Mr. Chairman, Board of Trustees, I hope that you are pleased with
Very much.
that you're pleased with the new setup. When Miss Nico came up earlier, we've always had an issue with being able to really see people clearly and, you know, large enough from the boardroom in St. Croix. And I must say that I'm very pleased with the product, and also would like to thank our vendor, Innovative AV, that did a superb job.
Cool. All right. Trustee Dorsey had a matter you wanted to discuss in executive session. So at this time, I'll ask for a motion. We're going to executive session. This portion of the meeting will be closed to the public for matters pertaining to trade secrets or financial or commercial information or personal or legal matters or matters whose premature disclosure will frustrate the implementation of the proposed agency action. Can I get a mover?
Don't move. Or
Moved
second?
Moved by trustee Clark, seconded by trustee Dorsey. Have a roll call, please.
Yes, trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Clark, yes, trustee Dorsey,
Yes.
trustee Dorsey, yes, trustee Liger,
Yes.
trustee Liger, yes, trustee Smith,
Yes,
trustee Smith, yes, trustee Colwood,
Yes.
trustee Colwood, yes, Mr. Chairman, for 6 years.
Wow. All right, thank you. So we'll recess for 2 minutes.
Thank you. I think I would like to ask Ms. Chapman to remain as well, Attorney Chapman.
Yes,
Can you remain in the executive session, please?
sure.